Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Soul Diving Sunday show featuring transformational life coach Shelley Whizin and your hosts Lisa and Nancy. So everyone, how many people know people who are angry? How many of us have that anger that we kind of push down and then all of a sudden it just displays itself and you go, holy cow, did I do that? Well, today we're going to be talking about nurturing joy and kindness, a compassionate and friendly way or approach to handling anger. So, Shelley, I asked her about this because in our travels and in life, we start to see a lot of people with a lot of anger, and it just starts to, you go like, dang, man, where's this coming from? We get it. The world, people are, angry at each other over politics, over different ideas, angry on the road, and even families are breaking up. And so I had to call on Shelley and say, Shelley, man, you got to bring back that human, we're all being human thing to us and remind us that joy and kindness can go a lot further than anger because I see people being upset and sad, losing family over petty stuff, over political candidates that we don't even know is like ridiculous. So let's get down to joy, kindness, being human. You love to talk about that.
Yeah,
Welcome back, Shelley. How are you?
thank you. I'm really well. I'm so happy to always be in with you and talk to you. I always have such interesting conversations, and I love that. I love that part about being human is that we can engage in a very interesting conversation, no matter what it is, and just
Yeah.
dive deep into that, whatever it is. And
No, Shelley,
have
stick to
fun.
this right now. You must stick in this
That's
way and that way.
right.
And if you don't, I'm going to get angry.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
And anger is such an interesting concept to talk about, really. Um, I grew up with an angry mother. She was angry a lot, more than not.
Mm,
When you grow up in that kind of energetic household where the energy is so suppressing and harsh and hard, it it makes you wonder what in the world did anybody do to deserve that wrath? Now, the way I look, I have since, of course, forgiven my mom. She did the best she could with whatever she had. And, we know that. And yes, there was some fallout from that. But what I got from that, one of the greatest lessons I ever learned from my mother is how not to be.
mm. Okay, but how does someone get into and I've been angry. I mean, when I have my moments and when they're fiery, they're good and then it's over. It's like a here's your pimple for the day, and then it's gone the next day,
Right,
your little
right.
volcano. But it's like to live with it, that means something has had to have triggered or been dumped on her shoulders or something, or sometimes it's chemicals and emotional imbalance, right?
Yes. So here's the thing about anger. We all have it. We all feel it.
Mm-hmm.
We're wired to experience it. It's not like we're not supposed to have anger. That's not the point. But the point is, do we let the anger then become more
Ooh.
important than love?
Mm-hmm.
Picking and choosing an emotion to make it more important to experience than the other. And what that experience does, it has a consequence. Anger, it's like spitting at somebody. You're throwing it out there to somebody. It's like throwing arrows. Don Miguel calls it poison arrows when we throw energy out at somebody
Mm-hmm.
else for any reason, even anger, you know. I mean, we can get angry and then we learn how do we hold the space for somebody who's angry without being angry ourselves? Because
Mm.
it can be contagious
Yes,
and kindness can be contagious.
it becomes a habit.
So whatever becomes the norm, and you're used to being that way, and you just think it's everything else. And yeah, I'm all messed up because everything else is messed up. No, I'm
Mm.
messed up because I'm letting, again, we're going to go back to this. I always,
Oh, the remote control.
when we give this remote control to anybody for our sense of well-being, we might as well just give them the power to live our
Mm.
life.
Right.
And so we have
Mm.
the choice not to react, which is different than respond.
Mm.
When somebody gets angry, our first instinct is to want to attack back, because if they're attacking us, we want to attack them. And then we
Mm-hmm.
blame them for us getting all riled up, right? But
Mm-hmm.
where in fact is we've given this to them to get all riled up, and then we keep thinking it's their fault for the way for me being angry.
And
I'm
then you get mad at
angry
yourself
too.
for being angry because you let that happen on top of it.
And then you do that.
Mm-hmm. I've
And
done that for sure. But
yeah.
okay, so let's go to someone at work, just for some examples here.
Hmm.
Say you have someone that is mean,
Hmm.
mean to you at work, right? And that is your job source. How do you deal with that? I mean, to me, I'd be like, I'd either say, all right, I'd go up and say, like, I know you may be my superior, which I hate that word. Um, but this is not, I don't deserve this or whatever. And if they don't change, I'll probably bail because I don't want to be around that. I don't want to have to deal with that. Or do you learn to put up a wall and be the, water off the duck's back and live with that? And can you do that without actually losing it? I wonder about that. We talk about these on our business shows all the time. And I go, eventually, don't you become that cold hearted, excuse my word, but bitch at the end of the day? And people go, oh, she can handle anything. And then I go, how do these strong women, and I'm going to the women, and I know guys deal with this too, but I want to go to the women that put up with stuff like that all the time. How do they really not feel anything, or if they program themselves to have this thick thing around them and then don't trust people eventually, or don't have, do you know what I mean? It's a really difficult thing. So sometimes I think use your remote control to push the off button and walk the hell out.
Hmm. Well,
So
okay,
yeah,
so if everybody has their own soul journey, whatever that is,
yeah,
you know, if that person that's in that situation, their soul journey is to, maybe it's to learn how to stand up for oneself in a way that's honorable for both
mm,
people. Maybe it's a way to learn, how do you say what you're experiencing? And that's what I'm talking about, holding the space for each other to be human.
yeah,
Maybe you can make a game out of it. I mean, sometimes I tell my clients to pretend they're on a TV show, and
mm,
that person is playing the role of an asshole boss,
mm.
and they're doing a really good job. And
And
you
that means
detach,
everyone, we get to talk like this when we're angry. No, kidding. Not
and
not 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 necessarily. Yeah,
you
not.
detach from taking it personal, because
Mm,
I love Don Miguel's four agreements, be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and do the best you can.
mm.
Okay, those
Yeah,
four,
you can't really beat that.
right? Because the thing is, everybody's going to be the way they're going to be in the conscious level that they know.
Mm,
And so he is more caught up, whoever he or she is, the boss, is more caught up in the physical realm of existence rather than the spiritual or emotional realm of
mm.
existence. And the physical and mental realm become more important. That's what I'm saying. I mean, how many people do you know that fight, fight so hard for their misery? They will tell you why they're fucked up. They will tell you why they're
Oh
miserable.
my God, and they call you for hours and it's
And
the
they tell
same.
you
You
it's
could
this
just
one and
repeat.
that one, and they did, and
I
they
can
did.
push the button on repeat cycle. I'll just say, here, do you want me to play back? And why bother? I just here, let me just push play. And you're doing the same thing, just a different name.
And you know why? Because pride,
Oh,
ego,
ugh.
and anger become more important
Mm,
than love.
yeah.
And when you make those things more important than love, you cut off your head because you're not living in your heart. You're
Mm,
only living in your head.
mm,
You think that's real, and you think that's more important than this.
mm-hmm.
As a human being, to me, when we talk about human beings instead of roles, we're all on the same playing field. We all have a heart. We all have, well, most of us have eyes. I mean, we all have a heart, otherwise we wouldn't live. We have a brain. And so that is the equal playing field for all of us on the field of life. And so
It's
now it depends
mm,
on the person. What do they value? Is making money and stepping on other people, to how you get there. That's how you make money, and you have to be this and you have to be that in order to do it. And you have to be an asshole and you have to be a this.
no,
You have
you
to
don't.
be a and it depends on the person's desires.
Mm,
So the person that's in, it's like somebody opens up a door and you're on the other side of the door, and somebody slams the door in your face and you're all pissed off at them. But you were on the other side of the door. They didn't know you were there.
half of the time, that's the reality, right?
That's the reality. But we
Oh, yeah.
personalize things. We take
Mm-hmm.
it personal when somebody is a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Think they're a jerk because of something we did, or why are they a jerk to me? Why is it happening to me? Why me? Why would
Oh,
all this shit always happen to me?
well, I mean, that's a good blues song.
Why me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of why not you?
Mm,
What difference does it make? It's just an experience.
mm,
And when we can detach from the experience and witness it. Now, when we witness it and the boss is being a jerk, you can either, it depends on what kind of relationship that you want with this human being. Do you want an authentic one? Do you want one that says, wow, that's so interesting? Don't you find it interesting, Jim, that sometimes we get in a way where we think we're like we almost are condescending to other people in the way that we are? Do you ever
mm,
find, I mean, you could talk about it in generalities. And sometimes I feel that that's what happens.
mm-hmm.
Is it, am I doing something that is, worth, we all have a certain exposure to experiences. I'm not a utility electric company CEO. I don't know anything about that.
But I
I,
want to yell at them because half the time stuff's going down.
right. And it doesn't matter. It's just what we're exposed to. So the person can either say, yes, I don't want this quality of life in my workplace. The
Mm-hmm.
quality of life to me is more important than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
going to
I
go
think so.
find a new job. Look at that.
Yep. I know you guys, you always have that on there.
Magic.
It
I don't
pops
know
up,
how
the little thumbs up.
I have no idea. And so we have choice.
Do
We
it
have
again.
choice. Where we place ourselves, where
Mm-hmm.
our feet are planted, what experiences we give us. We have choice to enjoy them or not.
Right.
Choice to let things bother us so much that we get irritated. We want to blame somebody else for our irritation.
And then you're mean to the waitress or you're mean
You're
to, the
mean,
server, excuse.
you're mean to
Well,
yourself, you're
oh,
mean to everybody.
well, a great example of this is, and I don't know if it's The Beef or Beef, the TV series. I think it was on Netflix or Hulu.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
see that?
Well,
Where
I
they,
started, I couldn't get
but
through it.
it's exactly it, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this was, here's some road rage that just went insane, where they
yeah.
basically tore apart each other's lives. I mean, this is where you take anger to crazy, where
Max.
it becomes
Yeah,
life or death.
right,
All right. So, and everybody starts watching it. Why? Because we are programmed to like anger and drama, right? So I
right,
wonder
right,
about
right,
that.
right,
So that is that thing. Or, the road rage, I can't remember who hit who. I don't, I
right,
can't actually remember any of it other than I did watch it, but
right,
going, oh my God, these people are insane.
right.
If you find yourself in the same space as the road rage person, you may not want to engage at this point because you don't know, right? People
No,
are a little crazy, but you could maybe go, you know, I'll get up a few minutes earlier and take this other route. And maybe the route will take you by the beach. Maybe it'll take you by a new coffee place. So sometimes a change is good. Instead of, I find like anger sometimes is people doing the same patterns and being in a rut and getting mad at change that happens while you're sitting in your rut. We're all upset about the weather across the country
Right.
because it's not supposed to do this in the South. It's not supposed to do this in Florida or California. Well, it did. And then everybody gets all pissy. And then some people go, oh, cool, this is different. Well, if you get pissy, you're going to be pissy about it. Or you could go, this is cool, it's different. So do you think part of it is when these experiences jolt us outside of our little comfort zone that we've created, our little nest?
Yeah, of course. And it triggers something. It can trigger some rejection. It can, but see, here's the thing about anger. Anger is a surface emotion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Underneath anger, there's hurt.
Mm,
But we are ashamed of the hurt, so we go for the anger. We don't want to admit that we're hurt because on some level we think it's weak to be hurt, but it's not weak to be angry. It's powerful to be angry. It's
mm-hmm.
acceptable to be angry, but to be hurt, because what does that do? That, oh my God, we're owning our own emotion. We're owning our
Ooh,
sense of feeling. We're owning it. And
that's
sometimes there's
hard.
shame in there. There's shame.
Mm-hmm.
And other people look at us like weak. Don't
Yeah, what
want
is
to
that
admit
with
it.
shame with pain? Like, because the weakness thing, I don't, I mean, it's like if someone, like, say you're in a relationship and the other person decides to sleep with somebody else other than yourself after maybe saying, "Oh, we're in a monogamous relationship, we love and care," and you totally fall for that. Now, part of the anger is that you believe that. So you have anger over actual trust. And so the hurt is
Anger
number
at
one,
yourself.
it's really anger at yourself more than that person, even though you want to just like go crazy and you do.
Yeah.
Then you're allowed to, I think you're allowed, if you don't have a little bit of emotional something, I don't know.
Honey, it's normal. It's natural.
Yeah, you're
It's
allowed to
human.
have
It's
some.
human. We're gonna
Yeah,
have it
yeah. And you got
regardless.
to
We're
own
gonna have
that too.
a pinch of it. We're gonna have a moment of it. We're gonna have 2 hours of it. We're gonna have 3 years of it.
Oh,
We
I
can
see.
have
That's
it
where
as
I don't want
long
it,
as we want.
but I don't want to have
So we
like
engage in
long-term
it,
anger
feel it, we let ourselves feel it, and then we let
and
it go.
flush it down the toilet.
There you
Told
go.
you we're back to that again.
Back.
Well, no, but that's the thing. Anger is interesting. If someone does something wrong to you and there is no reconciliation or movement, like you can extend with roses, right? Instead of thorns, and you get thorns back. Everybody is actually at a different space of growth. So, in a way, don't we have? I think we talked about this last time too. Just because you're being the let me take a step up versus a step down person doesn't mean the other person's going to do that.
Yeah. And you can't have control over anybody else. The only person you can have control
Oh,
over.
damn it.
I know. And that goes back to hurt. Now, we think we have this for other people, but we really don't.
Ah,
And then
Shelley.
I know. And then we have to take it back and then we get responsible for ourselves.
Ah.
You do this and you do this and throw it to our
So
own self.
basically, we're playing doctor with ourselves.
Right. That's right.
Oh my gosh. But okay, so
And
let's just, oh, go ahead.
we can't take ourselves too seriously.
See, this is why we're allowed to swear once in a while.
That's right. Because when we do, we strip the joy out of our own life because
Mhm.
we think we're supposed to be a certain way and we should act a certain way. We use that word should. That's a setup that makes us feel bad.
Oh God, like now I feel like we're gonna have to wear those girdles
Yeah,
again
right.
and those no, I don't want to wear a girdle. Don't start doing well, okay, so let's talk about handling anger with people and a process. There's
Yeah.
someone cuts you off in traffic, you can either go with the beef and go crazy, or you just go, they're being human, get on with it, right? Or you have these unexpected things where somebody has anger. And I told you about one that happened, this kind of prompted this conversation where I was like, I mean, literally backing up in shock. And I was almost like, I hate to say it, like almost bullied because I just didn't deal with it. I was just kept being polite. And I think that was actually still the right way to be. But at the end of the day, decided not to do anything professional with this person because of this anger that was vile, bigoted, and racist, and so toxic that I can't spread that. So I think that's okay. But but there's got to be a way of not internalizing when someone does that, because this person almost made me sick, like literally, like holy crap, I was in I was stunned. Oh, I get a haircut. Just cut them out.
Catch. You
Mm,
cut off the energetic field.
mm,
You recognize it, you become aware of it, and then you cut it off and you protect yourself with your
mm,
own light energy.
mm.
And you don't let it penetrate into your realm.
Yeah.
And you observe it and you just look at it and you watch it and you go, wow, look what
Mm.
human beings are capable of doing.
Oh, good way. And that's what everyone said to me. Oh, get rid of this. Don't allow you're going nuts until you cut it
And then you
and
just
say no.
you
And then I had to
detach.
do an email saying sorry, no on this and this. And as soon as I did that, all of a sudden I stood up and I felt like I lost a ton of weight, like
Exactly, you did.
physically.
Yeah, because A, you owned what your boundary was and what
Mm,
is acceptable to you and not acceptable to you, and what you want to engage in and what you don't want to engage in.
yeah.
And this is what I learned from my mother, how not to be and how I don't want people to be around me.
Mm,
But I did marry pretty much that with the understanding that love and abuse were synonymous. So
mm,
it was only until my third marriage that I realized that that was not a truth,
mm,
that love and abuse are not synonymous, and that anger can get out of hand. It goes into the ego or comes from the ego and becomes like I am the powerful one who can get angry and get in your face and have my neck do this. I mean, it's like a gorilla.
yeah, yeah.
Then
Yeah,
we
I
choice.
think we've all been there and done that in our lives. And then
I
when you
have,
say it, and
yeah.
I can say, oh, that didn't really do anything better. It didn't help. If you want to express something like, go out in nature, take a walk. You can yell and scream and
Yeah,
swear, but like
yeah,
don't maybe do it at someone. It's not going to
yeah,
get you anywhere. I've done it for sure. And
yeah.
it when I think of it as you were talking, I'm like, what an idiot. Like, and then it's okay to own it. And when you were talking about, okay, so then you marry someone that was the same way, I kind of feel like life will keep putting these lessons into our path until we learn those lessons.
Well, that's what I mean about everybody
Yeah. So
their
you
own
can't
soul.
tear yourself down either too much. You just go, oh, crap, I get it. All right, it's my day to
Right,
learn.
right. That's right. That's right. That's why we're human, by the way, to have
Mm,
these experiences, because when we're not in a body, we already feel everything and we're
mm,
everywhere. Our energy is just dissipated and everywhere. But when we're consolidated into a
mm,
body, or so we think, it becomes magnified. And
mm,
that's why we get to experience all that we do, because we're in a human body. And that's why souls want to, in my opinion, in my belief, that's why we're in a body, so we can experience these things.
mhm.
And forgiveness.
Abuse is hard too, though. Like as you're talking about, abuse is an emotional abuse is what something that is so hidden.
It is.
And it is, it's like, oh, physical abuse. Oh, we can see, right? It's
Yes.
like COVID. COVID reminds me of what emotional abuse is. Like
Yes.
COVID, you couldn't see it,
Yeah.
but people were dying on it.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think that is something that is tricky for people to go through and understand. It's like those, invisible disease
Hmm.
is part of it. And
Hmm.
abuse stems from trauma.
Hmm.
So, people get mad at me whenever I say, crime comes from trauma, crime, addiction. These things come from some kind of pain or trauma. So, anger I mean, a lot of people I know that are addicts have to go to anger management classes. And I
Mhm.
go, okay, so they have to go down to why am I angry all the time? And it's that venting out, right? Like you're talking about.
Well, that's it. Why am I angry? And so there's either if it's all the time, which I've been with people that are angry all the time. I grew up with somebody who was angry all the
Hmm.
time. And so that was my norm growing up. When I went to someone else's house and their parents weren't that way, I was like,
Is
what?
this
Have
real?
we
Yeah.
talk to each other like human beings? What? And my best friend who I grew up with, she lived down the block. I wanted to spend much more time at her house than at my house.
Mm,
It was not an
yeah.
easy way to grow up. However, I did learn later on in life, or came to believe, that my mother came to earth as an angel of pain to
Mm.
show us what pain is and how not to be, truly.
Ah, that's a
And
good point. A good way of doing. How do you think right now? I don't want to get political because I'm not going to take sides on it because it's so crazy at this point. And as I said at the beginning of the show, people are dividing and angry at each other and arguing. Can we not look at this year, you know, of not losing loved ones over beliefs that we don't even know if our beliefs are quite correct, to be honest. We really don't. We don't absolutely know who, what, and where. We don't know these politicians as friends. Okay, if you do, well, then give me the insight. But honestly, um, there are reasons for people to stand up for rights that they believe in. So I'm not saying we all put our head in the sand. I'm not saying don't reason, don't look at it. How do you think we can do as people, as humans, as you say? Can we not go, okay, that's their belief. Let me see if I can learn something from this. And even if you don't like any of it, you don't believe it, if it's something that goes against your morals and you want to walk away, fine. But maybe have some dignity about it. I don't know, but everyone's anger and emotions seem to be so amplified. That's the word, amplified, that it becomes a mob amplification of anger and people start talking about civil war, et cetera, et cetera. This is where it's as I'm thinking about it, I have all these examples swirling in me, in my head, and we all know because we all have those examples. How can we become a better, just human race, just starting with our individual self, with just dealing with things that we are maybe morally against? I mean, that's how religious wars happen, etc., right? We're right back to that. But aren't we at this place as human beings to go, hey, freedom of belief and thought, and we can vote, we can do certain things to say, hey, no, we don't agree with this or don't. How do we get to that reasoning? Or is it just like, hey, I mean, I'm not asking you to solve the world, but can we tone it down a bit? Is all I'm asking.
well, here's my take
Hey,
on
y'all, everyone, just shut up. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
here's
kidding.
my
That's a
take
joke.
on it. My take on it is that we're all human beings and we're all capable of everything. We're capable of hate. We're
Ooh,
capable of love. We're capable of compassion. We're capable of kindness. We're capable of atrocities. We're capable of killing people. We're capable of being
dang.
condescending. We're capable of feeling superior to others and think we're the only
Mm,
ones that are more important than anybody else. We're capable of all kinds of things because we're human. When we're human, we have choice. So now you choose, what kind of human being do you want to be? And what I say, and the only way that I can get through all of this stuff that's going on in the world, is to keep my focus on the highest and greatest good from love. That's
mm,
all I can do. I can bring that energy. I can share that energy. I can remind myself of that energy. I can just continually love up and love out and love in,
mm,
because, and for the highest and greatest good of all concerned. And to me, love is a bucket. And in that bucket, you have kindness and you have compassion and you have care and you have joy and you have, you know, all kinds of goodies are in that basket, all kinds of goodies.
mm,
And when you don't have that, when your values and your basket is either pride or hate or anger or any of that. You've got all those negative emotions in that basket, so people feed off of them.
Man, I'm going Easter basket with chocolate. Thank you. I'm
Right.
in your basket. I
Exactly.
love that.
That's what's in
Yeah.
that basket. And or that soup that I make, I put kindness in and I put love in and I put generosity in and I put yummy delicious in. I put all the yummy
See.
delicious goodies in that basket and in that soup and in this body. That's what my responsibility with using this is to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Continue and to get through my own challenges with getting impatient or feeling myself starting to spin out or feeling myself starting to stress out, feeling myself going to that place that we all can go and pulling back and detaching from that whole thing and saying, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
like that. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to be on a short fuse when I'm so angry and irritable and then I don't like what I'm doing because I'm so angry and
Oh man, and
irritable.
the energy that goes into that. And then it's like, oh, I need to go focus at work now. Well, I'm so pissed off that I've done all this stuff. It doesn't feel good. Go, going to that with the basket. So yummy, delicious. I love that term because it is like a life, a way of life. It's not just a term, it's a way of life. So
Yes.
when you're picking the pot or the basket, I'm going, I want the Easter basket with the chocolate eggs with the happy colors, and I want, the jelly beans,
Yeah.
and I want all that. Or do I want to have to, like, here's a pile of salty dough. I don't want that. I'm trying. Yeah, here's Lisa's bad cooking versus Shelley's awesome cooking. I want to go for
Well, let's
Shelley's
not.
awesome cooking. No, but you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
you choose, like, if you look at it as a restaurant, every time you make a choice, there are things that are going to upset us that, murder and there's so many things,
Yeah.
right, to be angry about. And it's part, like you said, it's part of that other emotion that is about hurt. But you can make positive change without degrading. And I think that's the thing we're talking about. And just environmental justice, as a lot of programs we do, we'd find out, oh, this many animals are being killed by this many people. And I mean, while we're on the tours, we were just banging our heads against the wall and getting so angry because we're in a little box in a room doing podcasts about all these injustices. And you'd start, and I'm getting there, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
holy
Yeah.
hell, we need to
Yeah.
make this. And oh, you're an idiot if you don't vote for this. Like,
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
care. Like, who the hell am I to say who doesn't care?
Right.
How do you know that they didn't have to put their kid to bed at the time voting was, and
Right.
their kid has the flu or had to be rushed to you don't know. We
Mm.
don't know what people are doing in their lives. We don't.
Right.
And so environmental justice had to learn, like, don't push everyone, you must be vegan, otherwise you're killing this.
Right.
That never worked in any kind of change that needed to be made for the planet or for social justice. The same, any kind of justice program had to be, hey, here's some facts to check out. Oh, yo, you've made your mind up without someone telling you what to do.
Mhm.
And that is a lesson we've learned. And I think we need to go back to it, because when you try to communicate through anger, the immediate reaction is a wall up or anger back, right? There is no love unless we're the person going, I've learned from Shelley now. I'm going
Yeah.
to do love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or,
And to
Mother
be
Teresa.
conscious of it. At least be
Mm-hmm,
conscious of it. Be conscious of being heart driven, being kind, being loving, just being that
mm-hmm,
kind of human being instead
mm,
of and it's just those emotions that you have, it's not who you are.
mm.
And sometimes people will say, oh, I'm just that way. I'm just an angry person, or that's just the way I am. And then they fight for the way I am. And the way I am is really me. You
Dang
know,
it.
like, whoa. Okay, so we fight more. I swear to God, Lisa, we fight more in this world to stay angry and to stay unhappy than we do to be happy and
Mm,
be joyful and to give I mean, even I feel sometimes self-conscious if somebody says, how are you? And I say, wonderful. They go, what makes you so wonderful? Why are
Yeah,
you,
who the hell do you think you
who do
are?
you think you are, big
Yeah,
shot?
you what, you're born with a silver
So it's
spoon
like
in your
I
mouth?
hesitate to even say that
Yeah.
I feel wonderful, right? And so it's a society, it's in our work. Australia's, they have really good at cutting each other off at the knees. I think they don't like when somebody succeeds and gets up and they want to bring them down somehow. And I think we have that mentality as well, that we
Hmm.
don't want to lift up, we want to tear down. And
Hmm.
that's just our conditioning. And so
And
it,
it's an easier route.
well, it sounds like it is, but it doesn't feel.
Yeah, because happy is happy, man. And don't you want to
I
just
mean,
keep
come on.
breeding then?
Exactly.
I mean, bunnies are happy until they kill each other, because then that's not nice. But
Well,
anyway, but they're happy. They're like, hey, let's do more of this,
it's
you
true.
know, and so it's, yeah, I think in this year, especially with all the anger,
There's so
because
much
after an
anger.
election, what are we going to do?
Oh,
Everybody going to storm a capitol again? Are we going to fight each other in our houses? Going to blow each other up? Is that going to do any good? Has any war done any good? There's defense, as you and I know, like, I'm a big supporter of our military and those who really stand up and do things that way, because if someone's going to come at you, you better stand up. Like you said, you still have to have boundaries. Love and compassion and kindness does not mean you do not put up a boundary. Like I said, eventually,
that's
if you
right.
extend roses to someone, they keep giving you thorns back. It is up to you to go, this isn't, I'm not going to, I know for my own personal self, I won't deal with it very much longer. I can't. It
Yeah.
takes me a long time to get mad, and then when I do and it never changes
Mhm.
that situation, I'm going to have to leave,
Mhm.
because I just can't internalize all that all the
Yeah.
time. I'm not good at it,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
nor do you need to be or have to be. See,
No,
we
and
ourselves in our lives, we
change
know
is
the story
good.
of our experiences. We put ourselves in the job. I mean, I have to say I'm grateful, and I think I've mentioned this before, that I have never in my entire life ever had a job I didn't love.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
never went to work angry or, oh, ugh. The people, everything, just, and there are some people who have their personalities that don't, so you just watch, you witness. You go,
That's
oh,
who they
that's
are.
interesting. That's interesting. But doesn't
Yeah.
mean you have to take it personally and then be unhappy around it. And yeah, there,
Actually, it becomes kind of funny in a way. Sorry, but when you know someone's crabby, you kind of go, I wonder if they're going to get crabby at this. You know what I mean?
well,
But
yeah,
that's kind of not nice either. But when people are constantly crabby,
well,
to get through it, you have to have a little humor going,
yeah, you have to have a lot of humor, I think.
well, in school, didn't we do that with crabby teachers that were mean? Then
Hmm.
you knew they were going to be mean. So then you kind
Yeah,
of poked and prodded just to see how
right,
far they would go.
right,
That's human nature once
right.
again.
Okay.
Well, I want to go into brilliance. Tell us a little bit about, you've got these new projects on the horizon, and the
Yes.
very short horizon starting February 6th. Tell everybody, and we'll get into it
Yes.
more on your March podcast. But brilliance is great to me because it means about living your best life, yummy, delicious. Brilliance and vibrancy. Vibrance is like one of my favorite words. So brilliance is right there with it.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, we're in the process, I have a new partner. We're in the process of launching our very first event, which is a roundtable masterclass with three additional experts in the field of midlife, in the field of all of us who are over 40 and beyond, 40 and beyond, whatever.
Fabulous. We're fabulous,
Fabulous,
damn it.
40 and beyond fabulous. And oftentimes we find ourselves stuck in a place where we don't feel we can get out of. Maybe our relationships are less than wonderful. We're not fulfilled at work. We're overscheduled, trying to, deal with our families and our parents. We're in the sandwich generation, perhaps, and we have parents still that we need to care for, and children and grandchildren and whatever in our work, and we just don't feel satisfied somewhere. So how do we get ourselves back on the navigational joy journey. I
Ooh.
want the e-ticket ride. I want the
Mm,
journey that helps me to navigate with as much ease and grace as possible, and a lot of effing humor in there. And that's
mm,
my effing humor, because effing humor just lightens the load. It gives our hearts a lighthearted approach to living.
mm.
And so we've got these three experts, plus myself, plus my partner, and we're doing a free masterclass. It's free on February 6th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Pacific Standard Time. So
Okay.
that's 10 in the Central, and 11 in the East Coast, 12 in the East Coast, 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 11. Yeah,
9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern,
there you go.
11 Central. Yeah.
Thank you. I love that. And so it's going to be great. You can write in questions that you have. It'll be a panel discussion. And we also have a backstage pass available, a VIP backstage pass, where you'll have access to each one of the experts. You can ask them personal questions. We'll do some laser coaching in that second hour. And it's very needed, what I'm learning about this whole field, and we're really kind of narrowing in on that particular target market, because I mean, my clients are all in that
Mm.
bracket, and I see what they're going through, and it's just wonderful to see the transformation that people get from a bit of coaching and a bit of perspective changing. And then you change your mindset, you rewire your brain there, you do all kinds of fun things at this age. And why the hell not? We're never too old to learn. We're
Yeah.
too old to grow, and that's what keeps us young, is growing and learning and finding teachers that you love and coaches and this one and that one. We all need something sometimes to get us out of a rut. And so
And I
this,
think it can't always be your best friend or your family member because
right,
they know you too well and will go, well, yeah, 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 yeah.
that's right.
And I love my best friends and family, but
Yes, yes,
yeah, I'm just saying sometimes you need someone to look at you without knowing you
yes.
and
So
all your drama.
that's right. So it's called Revive, Reclaim, Reignite, Rediscover Your Brilliance. And
Mm.
that's what we're going to do. We're going to uncover and rediscover and recover. And I love all the re's. I'm into all the re's.
I feel like we're going to go roll in the fresh green grass of spring for some reason
Yes, yes,
with
that's right.
daisies and dandelions
Yes, yes,
and
yes,
bunnies.
yes, yes.
I think I'm ready for
So,
spring. That's what's going on. But I think this is excellent because it's perfect
yeah,
timing. How
yeah,
many of us in January are like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this? And if you're like me,
exactly.
January got crazy. And all of
Yes,
a sudden we're going, well, we didn't do everything we wanted. And then you beat yourself up. Well,
yes,
rather get on a train and
yes,
move
yes,
forward. So I love
yes.
that, Shelley. If everyone follows you at Shelley Whizin on social media, Facebook, Instagram, I know the best. That's a way for everyone to connect with and
Yeah.
get on board with everything, right?
Yep, yep, that's perfect for you.
Excellent.
Perfect. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, always fun
Yeah.
having you on the show. We can't wait for next month. So next month we'll talk more about brilliance.
Yes, 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 yes. Very good.
Awesome.
Love it.
Well, have
No,
fun and good luck with your class.
thank you. And this is always very stimulating. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
No anger allowed.
No anger here.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio's Soul Diving Sunday show featuring transformational life coach Shelley Whizin. Follow Shelley at shelleywhizin.com. Follow us at bigblendradio.com.